Hello cats and kittens, Mama Cat Gamer is here. We are currently in the Post-A Realm Reborn quest line that links A Realm Reborn with Heavensward. So we're at about patch 2.3, midway through that. And we are doing Guardian of Eorzea at the moment. I don't know if we'll make it into Heavensward today, because there's quite a few quests left to do, but I think we'll make a good dent in the numbers that we have to get done today. So let's get moving. We have to speak with Eorzea in Mordona. So let's fly over there. Make sure I don't have anything else in here. I know we picked up a lot of the blue quest in here. That was mainly to unlock some of the dungeons. Wonder if these guys have anything new to say. Anytime they change position, I always check out and see if they've got something new. With the Doman younglings dashing around hither and yon, there's hardly a moment of peace to be had. That said, traveling with Ida, it's not as if I knew much peace to begin with. Y'shtola, the storm has passed and a moment's quietude is ours. Tataru is using her newfound time to further her studies, and I would follow her example. If living in Eorzea has taught us anything at all, it's that such restful moments are fleeting. Dark clouds ever stir anew on the horizon. Yeah, you know, especially in heroic fantasy settings. Ida, I told Flamine all about our adventures in the Sylphlands, fake Thancred and all. You won't tell the real Thancred, will you? Flamine, I do not know where we would be without Higiri. The girl has worked tirelessly for us every day since her arrival. Do you suppose all Doman women are so diligent? Dowari says, despite all the hardships we have faced, the younglings pursue their training with great zeal. We older ones would do well to follow their example. Well, you know, kids are energy vampires. They suck it out of adults. Kultane, Gav, care to watch the lessons before you journey on your way? I dare say your presence would go far to inspire the younglings. Rory Boulder, repetition and routine begets skill. Skill begets confidence. I would do what I can to see the Domans regain their strength of will. Thancred. Never is a woman more lovely than when she's hard at work, I say. A wild rose, strong and beautiful, blooming tall on the face of the frozen winds. Ever after a woman. Higiri says 137, 138, 130. Oh, hello there. I've been charged with keeping inventory. Flamine tells me it's vitally important. Oh dear, I seem to have lost count. Ozan, many of my countrymen have found work as frontier hands, helping to transport supplies and continue the expansion of Revenant's Toll. I have been tasked with keeping the equipment here in good repair. It's not particularly glamorous work, but I would help in whatever way I can. Roka, if I were as big as a mountain and strong as a bear like Mr. Boulder is, maybe I would like fighting more. Shiyun says, Yozan's always been the strongest of us, but even he's no match for Kaharu when she's mad. Are you taking a rest too? Promise you'll play with us again soon. The game of hide and seek in Vesper Ray was the most fun I've had in forever. All right, let's talk to Yozan. Look, it's Mr. Gav. He's back from his adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Probably not, kid. Probably not. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, Do you think you could trade us today, Mr. Gav? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. Somebody says, what's all this commotion then? Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coultonay, did you know that Mr. Gav is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Gav. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coultonay. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the art of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore. We are adventurers. And we were just asking Mr. Gav if he could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Gav, a demonstration of skill in arms, if you will? Hoary, if I didn't know better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against the legend. Hoary laughs. Well, mayhaps I am, but what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Gav? Would you consent to spar with me? Hooray! We're to have a tournament. Come on, everyone. We must prepare our gear for an outing. Coultonay says to Hoary Boulder, do try not to disappoint them, Have faith, Coultonay. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make of this a worthy contest. The fiends to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. Meet Hoary Boulder to the east of Revenant's Toll. Crystal Tower looks really nice at nighttime. Really pretty view there. Very nice. Yozan, Mr. Gav is here. Let us battle. As we left the Rising Stones, Mr. Thancred asked us where we were going. I told him we were off to watch you and Mr. Boulder fight, and he looked very surprised. I hope we haven't made him cross. We had a master of lessons back in Doma, and the way he taught us was very different from Mr. Boulder. I'm not sure which way is better, but I think I like them both. Is sparring dangerous? I don't think I want to see anyone else being hurt. Coultonay says, since becoming a Scion, I've had much opportunity to hear news of your epic deeds. I must confess, then, that my excitement rivals that of the children's at the prospect of seeing you in action firsthand. 'Twas good of you to agree to this, Gav. I trust you are ready to begin? Yes. Very well, let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Ahem. Hoary, are you certain you wish to fight him alone? That is Gav you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray, allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Gav to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Coultonay says, your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I will add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Ida, what? Who are all these people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Thancred. Yes, and there are still more to come. When I mentioned Gav's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, bringer of light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Yozan says, well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. Kohari, you can win, Mr. Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard, says Hoary Boulder. With a little grin. All right. Ugh, such paro. Tails barely do you justice. Mr. Boulder won't lose, will he? I think so. It's not over yet. It can't be. Aye, the children have the right of it. 'Tis time I joined the fray. On your feet, Ori. Oh no, he looks hurt. Mr. Gav is so strong, but you can't give up, Mr. Boulder. Can't disappoint the younglings. Ah. Hitting with heavy. You've bested me. I yield. Says Yozan. He gasps. That was incredible! He beat them both at the same time! Frontier Hand. We knew you couldn't lose, Gav. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Experienced adventurer says, now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I've much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. Alfino, impressive as always, Gav. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on their many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea, yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when first we met? 'Twas at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartano. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the lesson why grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius in the order he proposed to enforce. The legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. 'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. It's like, whoa. 'Twas you who taught me through countless acts of bravery that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people. These wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I, too, will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the Scions of the Seventh Dawn alone. What is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Scions is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. All right, we now must speak with Alfino in the Rising Stone, so let's go back up that way. All right, change position. Let's see if they have anything new. Papalimo. I wish Ida were not so eager to look to the future when we have so many problems in the here and now. Ida. I can't wait for Alfino to start his new company. I love making new friends. Y'shtola says, I fear Ida's boundless optimism is beginning to affect my better judgment, and your tendency to triumph against the most terrible of foes is certainly not helping matters. Thancred, your bout with Harry Boulder was more stirring than 100 lines of my most passionate poetry. Mayhaps I should arrange a sparring match of my own. That's how to get the girls. I don't know. My husband wrote me quite a bit of poetry when he was courting me. It was a lot of fun. He's the romantic in the family. Tataru, no, this won't do at all. And then I'll have to... Oh, hello, Gav. If you don't mind, I'm terribly busy at the moment. See if Dewari has anything. Our Doman farming methods have been adopted here on the frontier. 'Tis too early yet to know if they will prove to be effective. Flamine? 'Tis not enough that I am here for my daughter. I must do what little I can to help you all succeed in your monumental tasks. Igiri says, this place has become as a hive and its bees flit about in constant motion. Perhaps a soothing pot of tea will coax one or two to alight and take a moment's rest. Hozan. My people's spirits were thoroughly crushed by the loss of our homeland, but thanks to your courage and generosity, I see their inner flames once more flicker back to life. I, too, had felt my strength of will make a gradual return. Kultane, I thought the idea foolish at first, but it seems that sparring match well served its purpose. Well, I can hardly wait to return to my studies and seek to improve upon my technique. Gav, I must thank you again for agreeing to our bout, and I must thank the gods it was not a duel to the death. I will, however, cherish the lesson of each scrape and bruise as I work to better my swordplay. Yozan, Mr. Boulder fought well, but he was no match for you, Mr. Gav. Just you wait. One day I'll be good enough to knock you from the top of your mountain. You know what? I believe it. Shun, we need to decide who in our Adventurers Guild will do what. I'm fairly sure Yozan will have to be the sword fighter. He always has to be in the thick of the action. Koharu, Mr. Boulder is sore and beaten, but he said he'd return straight to his training. I don't think he likes to lose. I don't think most people don't like to lose. I like the way Mr. Coultonay fought. No swords or fists. I wonder if I studied hard, would I be able to cast spells like that too? Make sure nobody's hiding back here. He always has cute little things to say. Minfilia says, with the primal threat presently subdued, now is the perfect time to focus on our new endeavors. Alphino has long been laying the groundwork for this organization of his, and he looks to you to help turn his proposal into reality. Pray lend him what aid you can. Now let's see what Alphino has to say. Thank you for coming, Gav. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Yeah, good luck with that. I am going to take the determination one. Right, recruiting the realm. Alphino wishes to request your assistance for his new endeavor. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th astral era, the leaders of the 3 nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet, while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation accorded to the Scions. 'Tis my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But, as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Scions' command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning grand company, 'tis yet necessary that I visit the 3 leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know that the bringer of light and his discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limsa Laminza. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. All right, we need to speak with Alphino. Let's just port over to Limsa. Elegant melon. Just kind of rolling along as mini pet. That's cute. Afinu. Ah, there you are. I'm ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with Admiral Blufuswin. While the Admiral and I are finalizing promissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential members, 'tis of no matter should they already be pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. And you needn't range into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you are satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter, that we might prepare for the next leg of our journey. Oh, okay. Scout for potential recruits on the upper decks. See where they're all scattered. Let's start at Marauders Guild. Master Alphino's new organization? Yes, I had heard the formation of his trial company was in the offing. 'Tis with regret, however, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limbs and Laminza must needs receive my full attention. Fair. Carvalane looks ever so excited. An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity? I must say, your proposal intrigues me. But the Krakens well know that there is a time to act and a time to watch, and I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. The Krakens do not stir before the currents can be read. For the present, my answer must be a respectful no. Okay. We're batting 0 so far. Let's go to the aft castle. Sometimes that's blinding. Jeez. Rosewind says, who in the bloody hells do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodden knight shining plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on that dandy Carvalane's door. I think the two are in true love. Well, hi, Jakey. What are you looking at out there? My cat's looking out the window, very interested in something. Usually means he sees a bird or something. And ends a precursor to a United Eorzean Grand Company? While I do admire the scope of your ambition, my responsibilities here at Naldik and Vimelis keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be traipsing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. Well, that might be better than nothing. What, you want up? Come on. Yeah, hi, buddy. Come on. Come on. There you go. Come on. You good pussycat. Yeah. Alright, let's settle down here. Alright, now let's go talk to our final person. Still batting 0 here. Not looking good, Alphino. I tell you, Limsa can be so confusing sometimes. There's Ryle. Well, if it ain't Gav. I'd not forgot a venture brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut into Titan's bedchamber. You remember old Ryle, don't you? Formerly of the Company of Heroes? 3 whistles at Bronze Lake? Aye, it ain't often I drag me arse out to Limsa for a drink, but I'm right glad I did. How fare you these days? You're looking to put together a new crew? Top-tier work? Ha! Sounds like a right lark, it does. Alrighty, lad, count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into my grave just yet. Well, we got one. Okay. Kitty's fur is tickling my nose. Hey, buddy. Oh, let's go up here. Gav, your recruiting went well, I trust. I'm curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa Laminza. A member of the legendary Company of Heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I too was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the Elder Seeds here proceeds as smoothly. Pray, continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at Nafika's altar. You good boy, huh? You good boy? Alright, we have to go to Nafika's altar. So let's go over to New Gridania. My audience with the Elder Seedseer is due to commence momentarily. I would be grateful if you had once more ceded the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates has run dry, let us rendezvous at the airship ticking counter as before. Alright, well, we only have to run around to 4 people this time. And happily... Let's go to Miketo's first. Laurentius. Oh. Laurentius, he of the traitor persuasion. Oh, gods, can it truly be you? By what fickle fortune must the first face I see upon my release be yours? Could it be that you don't remember me? It is I, Laurentius, the man whose crimes you exposed. I was a whaler and a regular patron at Buscarone's. Yes, now I remember. Well, of course you do. I was beginning to wonder if jail had changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. The less said of my past, the better, I suppose. And what of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, eh? And what is your policy on reformed convicts? As matters stand, the Wood Whalers will have naught more to do with me. This may be just the second chance I was looking for. Revenant's toll, you say? I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this, I promise. I'm a changed man. You getting down now? Okay. Alright, there you go. I don't know why you just don't turn around and go down the other way. He has to, like, hop down, go behind my monitor, and then hop down on the other side. He's a funny little cat that way. Alright. Now I can sit up again. I think we'll go over to the Lancers Guild next. Cain-Galad. 'Tis not often a guild officer such as myself gets recruited, and this company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise, but its duties appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such time as your organization is more organized. See, you don't got shit yet. I'm not gonna join you. I somehow don't remember these flowers, do you? They look like, they almost look like gladioli. Daylilies, you know, kind of a mix of them. You would offer this old man a place in the company of champions? I'm both puzzled and honored by your invitation. Pray forgive me, young master, but I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain to me and bear responsibility for the evils my lady has wrought upon this land. Okay. You're gonna sit there and mope. Okay. Instead of doing something useful. I'm not impressed with Ursendel. Alian. Grandfather, you must call it a day. Let us return to the guild and rest ere your tormented back give up on you for good. I'm terribly sorry. We were just... Oh, Gav, isn't it? It's been some time since our paths crossed outside of Copperbill Mines. Why, you were barely more than a novice adventurer then. But look how far you've come. Mother Mune tells me 'twas you who felled the fearsome black wolf. And now you seek stout-hearted souls to fill the ranks of a new order? Well, your cause is undoubtedly just, and my old companion here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yes, I'll do it. This is the very thing I've spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I've seen Isildur safely home. My back is perfectly fine, I tell you. Oh, let's see what he says. Sorry. My back is perfectly fine, I tell you, says Isildur. You'll have to tie me to my bed if you think to prevent me from... Oh, well, mayhaps I'll rest for just a short while. Alian says, if you would have me, I would be glad to join your new company. I shall make for Revenant's Toll once I've escorted my dear friend back home. Now, Jonathan has Master of the Rolls. Accomplished enough feats to keep the bard singing for a lifetime, lad. Such an achievement shouldn't go unrecognized, and to that end, I'd like you to have this. Consider it a token of my highest esteem. Your accrued achievement points have earned you an achievement certificate. Certificates may be exchanged for a special reward of your choice by speaking with Jonathan. Let's ask about him. When I was a young man, I had the honor of working as a court scribe. Aye, in the good old days when my eyes were keen and the royal family still held true power in Ul'dah. Not a day seemed to go by that the royal palace didn't burst into a rainbow of colors with lavish functions and opulent feasts. Nowadays, though, it's true tales of adventure and daring do that delight me most. If you've done any deeds you're proud of, I'd like it very much if you shared them with me. Might be as I'll even give you a little something in return. Every achievement completed grants achievement points, and accumulating a certain amount will earn you an achievement certificate. These may be exchanged for a special reward of your choice by speaking with Jonathan. Rewards may also be redeemed directly from the achievements menu under character of the main menu. Oh, okay. Let's see what he's got. Okay, I get a hair ribbon, a fat chocobo head. Try on. How about no? Goblin cap. How about no? Does he have anything else? Oh, okay. Let's see. Ballroom etiquette. Flower bin maintenance. So you learn the water emote with a water can. Beady eye. Black chocobo chick. Wind up Nanamo. Wind up Therion. Behemoth Warhorn. Barding of Light, Wild Rose Barding. Magitech Deathclaw Identification Key. Inquire Within. Oh. That's for the, Agent of Inquiry Hildebrand. Beyond Redemption or Kestrian Roll. My Soul to Keep, Meteor, Return to Oblivion, and A Sundering of Light. I love Orchestrion rolls, so I'm gonna grab those. Let's see. Komainu, part lion, part dog, all lion dog. That one's really cute. Wonder what the Behemoth Warhorn is. I'm about ready to find out. I can wind up Nanamo. Why not? Right. Alphino says, "What news, Gav? For my part, the Elder Seer was most amenable to our requirements. A former wood whaler and a seasoned adventurer, our company will not lack for variety, that much is certain. An interesting harvest, indeed. Shall we strike into Ul'dah whilst the iron is hot? Let us meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavor to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close." All right, let's go to the Royal Promenade. I'm just wondering what I said. That new maidservant? No, truly. I don't know what they're up to, but yeah. Ul'dah, the gilded city, where one's fortunes defines one's worth. I hope some manner of fortune is with us, and that this final leg proves as successful as the previous two. Might I suggest descending to the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts? I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching her from her personal guard. Let us meet back here at the promenade when our respective tasks are complete. Good hunting, Gav. Let's see where all we gotta go. All right, let's just kind of go around the clock there. Go to the Miners Guild first. Ursen. Oh, what a happy coincidence. Do you remember me, perchance? I'm Ursen of the Church of Saint Adama Landama. Oh yeah, I remember her. Thank you again for your timely rescue. And I must also thank you for preventing that fraudulent priest from preying on dry bones less fortunate. A most upsetting business. Are you here with your companion? Thancred, wasn't it? Ah, 'tis new companions you seek then. Your proposed organization sounds a powerful force for good, but my place is at the church with the children. Nevertheless, I wish you well in this undertaking. I like how... Hey, did you come with Thancred? Not, kind of happy to see me, but really wants to see Thancred. That's funny. Yellow Moon. What are the odds we're going to recruit her? We'll, unfortunately, ruin her fashion sense by recruiting her. I'm sorry. You wish to recruit me? Is this some new fashion manner of propositioning a lady? Well, I'm afraid you are wasting your time. This lady is already spoken for. Good day to you, sir. Okay. All right, Sinkgod says, company that looks to cure the ills of the realm entire. Listen, friend, I can scarce bear the complaints of the next all over, let alone the conundrums of a neighboring nation. Landabear. You'd be surprised at what rumors drift down to Pearl Lane. I know of this glorious new company of yours and just how far I'd go to avoid getting involved with it. Whispers on the street say your organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. If you think you're recruiting for a just cause, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. Now that's an interesting development. All right, our next stop is over by the Gladiators Guild. Okay. Wait, you're the man who came to Little Alamigo looking for that masked devil. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead and a whole lot more of my friends besides. We were such fools. Any road, that disaster really got me to thinking about our homeland and about the outsider who saved us from ourselves. I realized how easily I'd been manipulated and vowed to make of myself a more worldly man. So, here I am. A new company of champions, and you say it will take me to all corners of the realm? That sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need. And don't worry, I'm not the same stripling you met in the Little Alamigo. I've prepared myself to fight the evil that I now know is out there. Alright, let's go speak with Alfino on the Royal Promenade. How fared you, Gav? What hidden gems did the streets of Ul'dah offer up to your unrelenting gaze? A single Alamigan youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people was born in no small part from the victories you yourself have won. Thank you, Gav. I will not squander the precious gift you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sultana also graced my trial company with her blessings. Our first wave of recruitment is over, the documents signed, and the finances secure. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You were concerned by the syndicate's involvement, as was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. Naturally, I would prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all. But even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. And as for the rumors and doubts surrounding this enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn people's trust, one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let us return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for a united Eorzea.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alfino's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'dah law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery!
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
He's so sweet to her. All right, we're going to speak with Alphino at the Rising Stones. Ah, that is not a journey I soon wish to repeat, says Alphino. But I cannot pause to rest. The culmination of all our efforts is at hand. I must see to the preparations for the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your services, Gav. I'm certain the antecedent will be relieved to see you free for your other duties. My grandfather formed the Circle of Knowing in the hopes that, through the accumulation of knowledge, Eorzea might be saved from disaster foretold. A band of champions brought together by a common goal to lead our realm to a better tomorrow. Though our means may differ, I would like to believe I do am proud in undertaking this new endeavor. Heretical harassment. Minfilia appears eager to welcome me back to Revenant's Toll. Greetings, Gav. Alphino tells me all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Tataru is cooperating with Alphino to see that all is in readiness, so I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices for the time being. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's Toll of late, and I wonder if Slaftborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Would you speak with him and see if there's aught he requires? Let's go check it out. See what Slaftborn has to say. What can I do for you, Gav? Thought you'd have your hands full helping out with this new arm of the Scions. Huh. Barely noticed your recruits arrived. 'Twas barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have passed through here every day. While I appreciate your offer of aid, 'tis more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedent, so I trust that means less work for you in the long run. Slaftborn, shipment, we couldn't... Godswoman, what befell? We were bringing a shipment to Revenant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier effort, but just as we sought to cross over into Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. There were many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray, forgive us. Slaftborn says, there's not to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest, and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, then this is like to be more than a case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did those supplies originate? House Forton. We collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood. I shall see that they are apprised of this development. Gav, were you not on good terms with the Knights of House Forton? I'll be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. Thank you for your understanding. I'm certain Lord Horshfawn will be glad of your assistance. Well, let's talk with Horshfawn and Camp Dragonhead. Well, well, if it isn't my fine friend Gavtia, would you care for a plate of roast caracul? Some mulled wine? No? Oh, I see you have not come into my hall merely to escape the biting cold. I was, in fact, on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Revenant's Toll, and I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence. Lord Horshfawn awaits confirmation of the reason of your visit to Camp Dragonhead.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest. Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurth's soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Forton does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name. What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait? Halone's blessings be upon you! Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise. But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long. Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
Furtive bands of men have been spied by patrols out of Whitebrim Front. Mayhap Lord Drumont will know more of the brazen heretics we seek. Okay. Let's go check it out. Drumont says, Gav, is there aught you would ask of me? Pray, speak plainly. I am a man of action and need no honeyed words. On the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say? By the fury, but you do seem destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess, then, 'tis a sad truth that the wilds hereabouts have indeed grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly, without warning, and are canny enough to evade our most able trackers. But 'tis not merely their newfound organization that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not what manner of influence this Iceheart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grip of righteous fervor. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhaps you would care to question one of their recent victims? As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a trader was waylaid on the road. The patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow and carried him to our infirmary. Assuming he has regained the use of his faculties, the merchant might recall some small detail that could aid you in your task. Okay, speak with the mistreated merchant. Just drive over the table there. I think the infirmary is in here. It's not, but let's see what Alboaz says. What do you think you're doing here? She never change, Alboaz, never change. Alright, well, we gotta go up the stairs here. Mistreated merchant. Tell you what happened? Why, yes, of course, I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly Blackhearts. I was traveling my usual route to Whitebrim Front when a sudden blow sent me reeling. The next thing I knew, I was on the ground, and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armor, crystals. They were taking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze and stalked over to better acquaint my head with his mace, before darkness reclaimed me. However, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that is where we're hauling my goods, but you'll not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived at all, and I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. Search the wilds of Snowcloak and defeat any heretics you encounter. All right, let's fly on over there. Yeah, you gotta speak with the House Durandare Knight there. Ah, try your weapons, foul. Wait, I recognize you, adventurer. You are come seeking heretics? And we share a common purpose. We are on patrol when we chanced to cross one of their raiding parties and pursued them here. By rights, we should have had them cornered in this ravine, and yet they are gone, vanished like icy wraiths. You glimpsed a woman atop the cliff? Could it be Ishgard herself come to sneer at our folly? And to where did she disappear? The heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen wall, some hidden tunnel that escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. 'Twould be best were we to return to Whitebrim Front and lay our suspicions before Lord Drillmont. Well, you know we're going to be coming back here again, right? Gav, it appears I owe you my thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their reports. The men you found out near Snowcloak were some of my finest. That they should be bested so handily, I fear I have woefully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. 'Twould be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may well be the very lair of our enemy. Pray, return to Dragonhead, inform Lord Horshfawn of your discoveries. He will wish to plan contingencies of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long. Alright, back to Camp Dragonhead.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart? Indeed. And this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
Somebody's blowing a kiss. The worst fun. Pray, tell the frontier hands to fret not over stolen supplies. 'Tis but a pittance compared to the rewards we shall reap for having a solid stronghold in Mordona. Alright. Report to Slaftborn at Revenant's Toll. Gav, 'tis good to see you return to the Toll. How fared you in the frozen wastes of Kurthus? House Fortal is to send us a second shipment? I must send thanks to Lord Horshvaunt for his continued generosity. Yet, even as our town grows in prosperity, I fear it will attract even greater numbers of those who would do us harm in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alphino's new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. I'm going to take this Astrum helm. Actually, I think I'm going to use that for my retainer. Brave new companions. Slaftborn has news on the progress of the inaugural ceremony. While you were away in Kurthus, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed, although Tataru does yet seem somewhat flustered. I've taken enough of your time. Why don't you head into the Rising Stones and see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand? Probably she can. And it is us warriors of light who help her out. These parchments need to be sorted in these documents. Why are they even here? Oh, I'm sorely tempted to file the lot in my waste paper basket. It's like most paperwork, right? Ah, Gaff, you startled me. You wish to lend a hand? Splendid. Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll, and I haven't the time to track them all down. The recruits know to don their garb immediately and assemble here in the Rising Stones. You'll want to report directly back to Alphino if you don't wish to miss the ceremony. I wonder if the Scions will ever have matching uniforms. A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. Once you're done delivering the uniforms to the recruits, pray report back to Alphino. The ceremony's almost ready to begin. Oh, Yu Hase needs one. Those who believe this company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. The giving of oneself, it is an investment in the future. Thus did I sign my name to the cause. These uniforms were a splendid idea. Once our organization has made a name for itself, there shall be wealth aplenty in selling replica costumes to the adoring masses. Spoken like a true Uldan. I'm thinking they might be upstairs here. Yep. Not sure what they're all looking at, but... Unless it's Crystal Tower. Thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I admit I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Neither do the rest of us. Ultramarine uniform. Deep blue uniform crafted specifically for Alphino's new trial organization. Ah, our new uniforms? I'm reminded of my induction into the Wood Whalers. Igmus. The Scarlet Guard marks me a proud member of the Maelstrom and a hardy defender of Limsa Limenza. Yet, in truth, I stand for the betterment of the realm. I thought this new company a fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. Oh, now that's a striking shade of blue. Put alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my wardrobe will certainly not lack for color. Fashion, the true endgame. Gilbert. I don't believe we met. I'm Ilberd. I will have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to the calamity, and I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding our lives. These uniforms are a shrewd decision. There's no easier method of creating a common bond among what is, essentially, a band of strangers. Do you have anything else to say? I was barely more than a refugee myself for a time, and I know what it is to be without hope. I shall do my utmost to see this company succeed. Femi? Dear gods, I did not expect to meet you strolling about town. Tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to come to Revenant's Toll. It is an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. Here's our buddy Wilred. Little Alamigo could learn much from Revenant's Toll. That this town can be so alive in the midst of such desolation. I've never worn aught quite so voluminous. Well, I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to the extra cloth in time. You're making me less naked. Runa, a friend of Nendrix, are you? Then you must be an adventurer of some skill. My business relies on capable people such as you. As a gesture of goodwill, I'm going to share with you a morsel of information. There's this bloke named Geralt. Makes his living in weapons and armor and whatnot. They say his skill is the finest in all the realm. Might be as it's gone to his head, though. Folks don't take to the man, if you get my meaning. Oh, and he likes a drink and all. Bloody Byrogrod himself in the forge, though. As a young lad, he was cast out on his ear by his master for the crime of crafting finer wares. And that while pissed drunk. Ever since he roamed here and there, earning his keep day to day. I have known Geralt ever since I landed in this business. Ain't seen him for a while, though. The last time I did, the old fool had tears in his eyes and snot dripping from his nose. Fallen on hard times, he said. Asked for a bit of coin to tide him over. Never paid me back, neither. Couldn't say for sure where he is now. Seemed to remember hearing he was in the Black Shroud, putting up at Hurst Mill or some such place. He might do well to commission his work. He'll even reforge the relics of old if you make it worth his while. And there ain't no one other in Eorzea can do that. If it's relics he's care to know about, I have a promise of payment that might catch your fancy. Don't look like much, but it'll get old Geralt to fire up his forge. That much I promise. Did they give us anything? Okay. That was for the Weaponsmith of Legend quest. Alright. Let's see where our other two people are. Alian says, Isildur has at last retired from the adventurer's life. Though I shall miss his wisdom and irrepressible spirit, I'm excited to forge my own path forward. Ah, yes, the uniform. Thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. Hello there, lad. Looking for me, was you? I suggest giving a whistle, but I'm not sure I'd hear it amongst all the bustle. Oh, proper uniforms and all. This thing'll cut off the blood to me head. Not to worry, though. I'm sure she'll be fine after making a few adjustments. Nothing new from Infilia. Yes, Gav. Tatari mentioned you were handing out the new uniforms. I assume you've now met the rest of the recruits. Some few answered the call to arms I put forth through the established grand companies and such. We are not yet an army, but there is much a small corps of elite warriors can achieve. Did I mention I'd thought of a name for the company? 'Tis my hope that it shall soon be known across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment of truth draws near, Gav. Once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you crystal braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come! Take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
A rousing speech, Alphino. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready.
All right, let's see what Minfili has to say for us. Let's see, Alphino's gone. Okay.
I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Eorzea. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder, have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidelind's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
Very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope that this shipment is spared the fate of the last. The winds are uncommon fierce this day, says Horschfang. That's Ishgard there. That's not good. Traitor in the Mists. Minfilia would have you assist Alphino in his new station as commander of the Crystal Braves. Oh, says Minfilia. Try as I might, I cannot shake a creeping sense of dark foreboding. But it avails us not to fret about the unknown. We must concentrate instead on the problems of the present. The primals have been relatively quiet of late, and the beast tribes who summon them are under constant surveillance by the grand companies. Should any suspicious activity be afoot, you may be certain that we will hear of it. And until such time as a permanent solution to the primal problem has been found, we can do little but wait and observe. As for the Scions, Eorzea is wholly dedicated to finding the means by which we may defeat the dark beings. Let us pray for good tidings on that front. But all of this you knew already. Let us speak then of a more current matters, in particular the state of the Crystal Braves. Alphino did well to found the organization, but ensuring its smooth operation is another matter entirely. Though I doubt not that he is doing his best, I felt that a helping hand or two would not go astray. To this end, I offered to send one of the Archons to assist him, but he declined. You know how he can be, independent to a fault and singularly loath to accept help, save, of course, when that help comes from you. Alphino has entrusted countless matters of import to your care in the past, and I believe he would not hesitate to do so again, were you to offer. I should be most grateful if you go to him and support him in whatever manner you are able. See if she has anything else. Alphino refused the Archon's help, but I believe that he would welcome yours. I should be most grateful if you would place yourself at his disposal. Okay, let's go speak with him. Where actually is he at? I wonder what Ilbeard has to say. Dispatch the first unit to Ulda. The second and fourth are to stand by for further orders. Why to Ulda? Let's see what Peplimo has to say. In which event we must guide them to little Alamigo, else we condemn them to certain death. Ida, what did I just tell you? I don't know. Condemn refugees to death? Wait a minute, that's not right. Don't worry. Many of my countrymen are skilled with bow or blade. I've made it my mission to rally those with such talents to the Braves' cause. I only hope we can be of some small assistance. Yes, 'twould be foolish to sacrifice nutrition for flavor. If Higiri and our more skilled culinarians worked closely together, I dare say they could create extraordinary dishes sure to satisfy Eorzean and Doman alike. Higiri, in traditional Doman cuisine we strive for perfect balance, not only of flavor and texture, but also of nutrition. For a meal to be truly satisfying, it must nourish the body as well as delight the senses. Think of it, a dazzling floral arrangement, each blossom a peerless beauty in her own right. Ah, the blessing and the burden of an overactive imagination. I'm afraid. I wonder what. I don't want to know what he's thinking in his imagination. Where have these younglings disappeared to? Making the most of their newfound freedom, no doubt. Those azure uniforms are really rather striking, but I think I shall remain on Scion for the nonce. These walls have become my home, and the Scions my family. Besides, I'm not sure blue is really my color. The green in my cassock really brings out my eyes, just as Horace brings out the red in his. Okay. Oh my. Colton, why are you looking at his breeches? Look forward, never back. Devote yourself only to the present. That is what I've learned from the Domans. What is it, Gav? And to be concise, I am rather busy. Oh, well. Okay. You would lend a hand, you say? I see. Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants for attention. Given its sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to my braves, but the demands upon my time are such that I had little choice, which is not to say that my men want for labor. Though we are but newly formed, there is already a great demand for our services, and we are hard-pressed to answer all petitions. But I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend to this particular matter myself, but my presence is required elsewhere. That being the case, I have entrusted its resolution to my second-in-command, Captain Ilberd. Tell him that I sent you, and he will furnish you with the particulars. My thanks in advance, Gav. Oh, I forgot to see what Tataru had to say. Wow. From invoices to petition to... It's a war, Gav. That desk is my front line, and I fear I have been overrun. All right, Ilberd, what do you got to say?
Hail to you, sire. How might we serve you? Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us? These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own. That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence. Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the Grand Companies. Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this Ivy had coiled itself around every part of the Immortal Flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the Ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge, but we have a tendril in our hands, and we shall follow it all the way to the gnarled root. Now, much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion, circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The Ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Roban of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames, and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly. Assuming the Ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway, and if that is the case, he may well move against us. We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purpose by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-man army like you.
We must begin by apprising General Raban of our findings. Pray, meet him in the Hall of Flames, and repaint on hand to see that things go smoothly. Alright, let's go to the Hall of Flames.
Well, well. What brings you here, my friend?
He is here at my behest. Greetings, Roban. It has been a while.
Hilbert, you old scoundrel. When they told me you'd be visiting, I scarce believed my ears. But look at you! The honored captain of the Crystal Bloody Braves. Who'd have imagined, eh?
Not many, but fewer still would have imagined your destiny lay in politics, old friend.
Aye. We've both come far, have we not? Lest you wonder, Hilbert and I go back a long way. We've been friends and rivals since we were lads. The last time we saw each other, Alamigo had just fallen, so you can guess how many summers it's been. And in all that time, not a word from the fool.
Ah, well, my dealings tended toward the modest and mundane, unlike some I could mention. As I hear it, no sooner did you reach Thanalan than the brass blades clapped you in irons and dragged you off to die on the blood sands. Being a stubborn sort, you won 1,000 matches and earned yourself a place in the people's hearts while you were about it. Then, with your mountain of prize money, you bought the Colosseum and secured a seat on the Syndicate. Those balls, brother! Rags to riches does not do it justice. You're a hero to the common man.
Bah, spare me. I am no hero. If anyone is worthy of that title, it's our friend here. Next to him, I'm little more than a glorified butcher. But you, Hilbert, you sell yourself short. By all accounts, you are an adventurer of some standing.
I like to think that I did my part for the greater good. But if you're no hero, then I'm no adventurer, not in this company. Anyway. I have tidings.
So there has been progress. I've let it be known that this meeting is a reunion between old friends. None will give your visit a second thought. To convene elsewhere would only attract attention. Let us speak here, in plain view of all. So it is we who have been compromised. Teleji Adeleji's machinations have shaken Ul'dah to her foundations. In such uncertain times, a man's loyalty may be bought for a fistful of gil. But if this snake has truly been in our midst for as long as you say, we must needs consider a far graver possibility. Conspiracy. Could it be that the Monetarists have been in league with the Empire from the first?
Probably not, because the Empire would influence their commerce.
Very well. I will have my most trusted men investigate the matter. Continue your inquiries in the meantime. It does me well to see you again, old friend. When next we meet, let it be over a flagon of ale.
I look forward to it. Let us reminisce of bygone days, and drink to the future of our homeland. Flame General, you wear the mantle well, old friend. I must work hard if I'm to keep up. Well, it would seem your services were not required after all. I dare say we have Roban's prudence to thank for that. Still, I was glad of your presence. My thanks, Scion.
All right, Ilbert is eager to continue his investigation into the Garlean spy known as the Ivy. Our hunt for the Ivy begins in earnest, Scion. Suffice it to say, we must tread warily, for but one misstep may well cost us our lives. Our business here is concluded for the time being. Let us return to the Rising Stones and report to Commander Levailleur. Some FC chat. They're entertaining today. Find an FC you like. There's the community finder has plenty. There's a subreddit for Final Fantasy recruitment. FCs make this game is fun, but it's even more fun with friends. Like all MMOs. Ilbert says, we are returned from Ul'dah, Commander. And not a moment too soon. Something has happened, says Alphino. Trouble? You will recall that the Fourth was tasked with reconnoitering the rendezvous site used by the Ivy's minion and his Imperial contacts. Soon after you left, we start again. You will recall that the Fourth was tasked with reconnoitering the rendezvous site used by the Ivy's minion and his Imperial contacts. Soon after you left, we received word that the unit was ambushed en route to its destination. God damn it, says Ilbert. Alphino, according to the report, one of ours has been taken captive. The Garleans are not wont to treat their foemen with dignity, and I have grave fears for her safety. We must dispatch a rescue party at once. Recall those braves who are afield. Ilbert says, begging your pardons, Commander, but we have not the time. I'm afraid I must ask you for your aid once more, Scion. An ill-prepared rescue party will only serve to provide the Garleans with more captives. Yet time is of the essence. Simply put, you are the best chance we have. Alphino says, Captain Ilbert has the right of it. I trust you are willing. But of course you are. Now, Alian of the Fourth lies in wait in the Tangle, near the entrance to the Castrum Sentry. Seek her out. She will apprise you of the situation. You're the best chance we have of rescuing our comrade. I shall pray for your success. Alphino says, Alian of the Fourth lies in wait in the Tangle near the entrance to Castrum Sentry. Seek her out. She will apprise you of the situation. Hang in there, Resh. We'll free you yet. Okay. Alian says, You would aid us in the rescue mission? We are in your debt, Warrior of Light. Now, time is against us, so allow me to brief you on the situation. The Garleans fell upon us without warning, wounding poor Resh and hauling her away to the castrum yonder. Outnumbered as we were, it was all we could do to flee and regroup. Even as we speak, the Garleans may be interrogating Resh, or worse. With her hurts, I fear that she will not long survive their attentions. We must rescue her without delay. Our order may yet be in its infancy, but the bond that binds us is as strong as mithril. None of us will stand by while a comrade suffers. We, the remnants of the Fourth, will infiltrate Castrum Sentry. Please, help us find Resh before it's too late. All right, let's head up there. Fortunately, we can fly right over everybody. Where am I? Resh, thank the gods we found you. And thank you, Warrior of Light. Now, to quit this cursed place. Resh cannot move with those wounds. She will need to be carried out. I believe a diversion is in order. Might we trouble you to provide one? Given your reputation, I suspect the Garleans would be only too happy to grant you their undivided attention. If you were to create a commotion within the castrum, we should be able to steal away unnoticed. Let us speak again once we are safely outside these walls. Defeat Imperial troops who appear at the specified locations. They're not part of our attack group. Okay, I don't have to kill them. I don't want to accidentally aggro that other guy. Speak with Alion in the Tangle now. I've awaited your return most anxiously, my friend. You've done us a great service indeed. Thanks to your aid, our comrade Resh is safe. We suffered no further casualties. Words cannot well express my gratitude. All that is left is to report the mission's success to Commander Levailleur. I shall go on ahead to the Rising Stones. Ah, it does me well to see you thus return, says Alphino. Though I doubt not, your prowess entering an enemy's stronghold is generally considered to be a risky venture, and I must confess to having been a trifle anxious. But here you are, hale and whole, having succeeded in your mission, as is your wont. Lest you wonder, the woman you rescued is being cared for by the Domans. Thanks to their expert ministrations, the danger is past. You have my gratitude, Gav. Well, hi, Jakey. Allow me to thank you also, Styan. Resh owes you her life. Elfino says, we escaped with minimal casualties this time, but we can ill afford to be caught off guard again. The Empire is not an opponent to be trifled with. Wait, you want to come up here? Bird says, as you say, Commander, I will see to it that the men keep their wits about them. And it may yet take time, but I will not rest until we have identified and apprehended the Ivy. Alphino says, I have every confidence that you will succeed, Captain. Right, you want to come up? Come on. Well, come on. Come on. You coming or no? Come here. There you go. There you go. There, my buddy. Alphino says, I have every confidence that you will succeed, Captain. As for you, Gav, I realize you have scarce caught your breath, but I'm afraid there is no rest for the weary. I require that you accompany me to Kurthis. I've been granted an audience with an Ishgardian dignitary, you see, and the man expressly requested your presence. Oh, do not look so surprised. You should be familiar with the trappings of fame by now. We shall depart as soon as you are ready. I wonder what those look like. Yeah. Yeah, those look kind of cool. Might be good for Glyam. An influential Ishgardian wishes to meet the Warrior of Light, and Alphino would like nothing more than to oblige him. We've been blessed with a rare opportunity, Gav, an audience with an ambassador of the Holy See of Ishgard. We are to treat with Ser Aymeric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, in Camp Dragonhead. It is considered a great honor to serve the Holy See directly as a Temple Knight. Needless to say, the leader wields tremendous political influence. We would be wise to court his favor. For that reason, I consider your attendance essential. If Ser Aymeric wishes to meet the man behind the legend, I would not deny him the pleasure of your company. The antecedent should see the wisdom of this plan when you request her permission to accompany me to Kurthis. Mayhap you feel this to be a waste of your talents, which could doubtless be put to nobler use. If so, I should remind you that more good can be accomplished with the stroke of a pen than the thrust of a sword. You good, buddy? Well, you good pussycat. Yeah. You have anything else? If my many adventures in diplomacy have taught me anything, it's the importance of humoring those who have something one wants. Not every victory is won on a battlefield, my friend. 'Tis the lot of legendary heroes to be paraded about from time to time. Somebody's buying up my fish. Yeah, he's such a good kitty. Minfilia. A meeting with an Ishgardian ambassador? By all means, I think it a wonderful idea. We have received no reports of etheric disturbances or unusual beast tribe activity of late. If Alphino believes your presence may help him to secure more favorable terms, I see no reason to not deny him. Alphino says, Antecedent. I take it Gav has explained the situation. And Philia says, he has. Yet welcome though these overtures are, I cannot help but wonder what prompted them. Ishgardians have spurned all contact with the other city-states for decades. Why reach out now? Alphino says, would that I knew. The question of their motives is one to which I have given no small amount of thought. Alas, I know no more than is generally known. The notoriously reclusive nation of Ishgard, situated at the center of Abelathia's spine, ruled by the Ishgardian Orthodox Church, at the head of which presides the Archbishop. Members of the original Eorzean alliance formed in the wake of Alamigo's fall some 2 decades ago. Friends of convenience who withdrew from the alliance as soon as the Imperial fleet was routed at the Battle of Silver Tear Skies. Since which time their borders have remained closed to all outsiders. They have rejected every one of their former allies' calls to reopen dialogue, turning a deaf ear to their neighbors' pleas even when the calamity loomed large. And on the fields of Cartano, where brave men and women laid down their lives in defense of the realm, their banners were conspicuously absent. I have tried to convince Ishgard to rejoin the alliance at every opportunity. I have explained over and over again that unless Eorzea stands united, we cannot hope to preserve our freedom. One by one our nations will fall, as once fell Alamigo. And what have mine efforts yielded? Why, naught. It would have nothing to do with him being, an obnoxious teenager, right? Minfilia. Surely this can be considered a step in the right direction? Alphino says, I should hope so. Rather than the lowly messengers we have been fobbed off with in the past, this time we shall meet with a man of genuine influence. Of course, I am not so naive as to think that they come to us out of the goodness of their hearts. We have something they desire, though I have yet to find out what. But such is the nature of diplomacy. They will bring their agendas to the negotiating table, and so will I, along with a handful of incontrovertible truths. Minfilia says, the Empire will soon be at our doorstep once more. Alphino says, indeed, you may be assured that I will expound upon this point and others. Expounding is correct. That's a good term for it. Alphino says, let us depart for Camp Dragonhead, Gav. Our old friend, Lord Orchiffon, is expecting us. Since our quest to recover the Enterprise, I understand you have further ingratiated yourself with the man. Excellent work. His fondness may prove useful to our cause. Minfilia says, though I know little of Ser Aymeric, I have faith that Alfino's efforts are brought to bear fruit. All right. Oh, let's see what they have to say now. Tataru. But if I were to become successful, the rewards would far exceed anything I could ever earn as a miner. Fleming says, the fortunes of a songstress rise and fall with the whims of the crowd. Earning the favor of a wealthy patron or two might ameliorate the risk, 'tis true, but such relationships carry risk of their own. Ida says, if you're going to be such a stickler for details, why not write it yourself? Pampalimo must be asking her to do something. Pampalimo, we cannot send this to Gridania. The figures are all wrong, and for the love of the 12, you misspelled the Elder Seatseer's name. Well, that's why. Y'shtola, the key to successful negotiations is discerning the other party's motives, and the key to that is a comprehensive understanding of circumstances past and present. Thancred, ballads of bloody battles, valiant knights, heroic sacrifice, trait fair, but who am I to question the preferences of Ishgardian noblewomen? So we're expanding our horizons with Thancred. Ozan, Domans fighting alongside the Crystal Braves? I wager there will be no shortage of volunteers eager to exact vengeance on our common foe. Don't worry, we honed our skills in the fight to protect our country. Though our land may be lost, our people abide. We must unite against the Empire. Let them see that Doma is not so easily defeated. Higiri, their expertise in covert operations would serve them well in the battle against the Empire, it is true. And yet, I cannot help but shrink from this talk of more fighting. Gultane, forgive me, but I cannot talk at the moment. I'm in the midst of meditations to fortify my etheric flow. Ori Boulder says, Lady Tataru asked me to accompany her on her latest mining expedition. As a guard, you understand. But the moment she set eyes on the cobra, she ran back in full pelt. It was all I could do to keep up. Do I truly inspire so little confidence? Or maybe she just hates cobras that much. All right, let's go speak with Orshfall, Camp Dragonhead. Ah, Gav, ever a welcome sight. Our hearths have been stoked blazing in preparation for your arrival. It would not do for such a distinguished personage to catch cold whilst enjoying our hospitality. Alfino, the gesture is much appreciated. I fear I shall ever struggle in cold climes. Ah, good Master Alfino, an honor as always. Likewise, Lord Orshfall. Forgive us yet another imposition. I fear we have relied overmuch on your aid since you so generously assisted us in locating the Enterprise. Orshfall says, nonsense. Any debts incurred have long since been repaid. Besides, who can say what the future may bring? House Fortin may even seek the aid of your newly formed Crystal Braves. In any case, I am simply delighted that the Holy See is at last willing to grant you an audience. No doubt your discoveries at Snowcloak helped to justify the decision. This recent resurgence in heretical activity is of grave concern to us all. But to the matter at hand, Ser Aymeric arrived in Camp Dragonhead earlier, and I am told he is eager to meet with you at your first convenience. You are doubtless weary from your journey and desirous to rest a while by the warmth of our hearth. But if you are willing to forego such comforts, pray inform the knight stationed outside the intercessory. He will grant you entrance and send word to the other attendees. Alfino says, as inviting as your hearth sounds, I think it best we proceed to the intercessory forthwith. these boys have anything to say new? I see no reason to keep Ser Aymeric waiting, do you? Let us proceed to the intercessory. You will find the entrance to the intercessory outside. It's just around the corner to the right. Speak with the guard stationed there when you are ready to begin the meeting. Sounds like it might be one of the longer cutscenes. I kind of think it is, but I'm not sure. We've been expecting you, sir. Pray, take your ease inside, and I shall summon the others. Proceed to the intercessory, yeah.
Have faith, my friend. You need only state your case with confidence and clarity.
Commander Leveilleur, it is both an honor and a pleasure to meet you. I am Aymeric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights.
Alphino Leveilleur, at your service. Your reputation precedes you, Ser Aymeric. I think we will find that we have much in common.
Speaking of reputations, yours towers over us all. Does it not?
Well, maybe just a little.
It does indeed, Lord Commander.
I am not too proud to admit that I have followed your activities with an interest bordering on fascination. Full glad was I to learn that you would be joining us. Now then, shall we begin?
We know full well that the Garleans will return in force ere long. What is more, we have yet to achieve a lasting victory over the primal menace. The beast tribes continue to summon their gods, and each incarnation is stronger than the last. Ishgard is not immune to these threats. I must reiterate that it would behoove your nation to rejoin the Eorzean alliance.
Once again, I must respectfully disagree.
On what grounds?
Despite their presence in Kurthus, the Ixal do not concern us. Their territorial claims pertain to Gridanian lands, and it is the people of Gridania whom they harry. Consequently, the Holy See judges this to be a Gridanian affair, and Ishgard does not intervene in the internal affairs of other nations. Even were that not the case, our forces are wholly committed to the Dravanian conflict. We have not the knights to spare. As for the Garleans, we are not ignorant of history. We have observed the rise and expansion of the Empire, and we agree that it is only a matter of time before they resume their campaign in Eorzea.
Then surely it would be in our best interests to present a united front.
Mayhap one day, but not yet. Gaius van Belsar is dead, and the legion of conscripts he left behind lacks the will to fight. We think it highly unlikely that they will emerge from behind the walls of their castra for some time.
Forgive me, but if Ishgard's position has not changed, why did you agree to this meeting?
It was not only as a representative of Ishgard that I came here.
Pardon?
It is not within my power to change Ishgardian policy, regardless of my personal feelings. There is, however, one area in which I may exert a measure of influence. Concerns have been raised over the supplies House Fortin has offered to Revenant's Toll. These have led to calls for restrictions on the provision of aid to foreign powers. I can ensure that the shipments continue unabated.
Ser Aymeric, we would be in your debt.
No, you would not, for I require something in exchange. Of late, there has been a flurry of Dravanian activity, the purpose of which was not immediately clear. However, our astrologians have since observed alarming changes in the heavens. The dragon star waxes unnaturally bright, and there are whispers that it portends the resurrection of Midgard-Sorma.
The fallen guardian of Silvertear Falls? That's absurd.
Full many times have I gazed upon the dragon's corpse still wound around the Agrius, and wondered how different our world might be if it yet lived to plague the skies. I do not know, and I do not wish to know, nor does any son of Ishgard. Yet the mere presence of Dravanian forces is not sufficient grounds to send knights to Mordona, whatever our astrologians say. As I told you before, we have not the forces to spare.
But we do. So you will intervene on our behalf if we agree to watch over the Keeper of the Lake.
Do you accept these terms?
I do. I will see that you are kept abreast of any developments. I regret that we could not come to a similar agreement on other matters, but I understand that you are not at liberty to make such decisions. Nevertheless, I hope that what we have accomplished here today will serve to demonstrate to your countrymen that we can work together towards a common goal. Mayhap one day we shall look back on this moment as the first step towards a united Eorzea.
Mayhap we shall, Commander.
What is the meaning of this?
The caravan, my lord. It's been attacked. It was Iceheart, my lord.
What? By the Fury? All our precautions were for naught?
Oh my. Ser Aymeric has me at hello. I love his voice actor. Oh, those are certainly bright. Oh my goodness. So at least a little better. Okay. The Intercession of Saints. Recent developments have given Alphino much to consider. Just when we were starting to make progress. And to make matters worse, the caravan they spoke of was bound for Revenant's Toll of all places. Honestly, were I so inclined, I should think the gods were conspiring against us. Or maybe some person. Happily, however, I am not. I would know more of this attack. Let us speak with Lord Orchefort and find out what he has learned. We must needs find the heretics, and no, it will avail us not to rush. Let us hear what Lord Orchefort has to say first. We have the Temple Knight here. Wonder what she has to say to us. I'm come to hear Lord Horshafon speak, not you. Okay. So get out of my face. Horshafon says, my sincerest apologies for the interruption, my friends, but the situation is such that we must act swiftly. Elfino says, if you would be so kind as to elaborate. Horshafon says, Iceheart's heretics fell upon the caravan bound for Revenant's Toll as it was passing through Boulder Downs. 'Twas an ambush, swift and ruthless. In an instant every knight was slain, every crate seized. Then, swiftly as they appeared, they were gone. Taciturn Temple Knight. 'Twould be an impossible feat without knowledge of the route. Knowledge to which only a select few are privy, I presume. Elfino says, quite. We can pursue that avenue of inquiry in due course. It seems to me that examining the scene of the ambush should be our first concern. The trail is yet warm. We must act swiftly, as Lord Horshafon said, lest crucial evidence be lost. You have a knack for discerning hidden truths, Scav. Why don't you go and inspect the ambush site in person? Horshafon, an excellent idea. Inform my men of your intent upon arrival, and they will gladly share their findings. It takes but one pair of loose lips. Yeah, right? Loose lips sink ships. I will remain Camp Dragonhead for now. Should you learn aught of interest, pray return at once. Horshafon, my men are conducting their own investigation at present. Follow the road south towards Mordona. You shall find them in the wagon in due time. Oh, this is where the weaponsmith of legend is. Okay. Alright, we got a ways to fly. Actually, I think it'll be faster to go to Revenant's Toll and go through the door there. Otherwise, we'll be flying quite a while. Move along, adventurer. There's nothing for... Eh? Lord Horshafon bid you speak with us? Then you must be... Beg your pardon, Scion. As you can see, they left nary a crate behind. Tipped the wagon for good measure, even. Whole thing's a bit odd, if you ask me. Would have been easier to just steal it. Though a damn sight harder to conceal it, I'll allow. Reckon they came prepared, probably with wagons of their own hidden away off. But pay no heed to my ramblings. Absent of proof, 'tis naught but speculation. Might be as the squire receiving care at the observatorium could tell you something more factual. That is, if he's awake. Unlike myself, he was there during the attack. Not that his presence amounted to much. Let's fly over to the observatorium. Get off the bed, Chocobo. You've come to ask about the attack. You've come to ask about the attack, haven't you? We came upon them before the entrance to the Hall of the Seven Echoes. Pilgrims remarked them as lost and ill-equipped for a journey farther north. Our leader called out to them and one stepped forward to answer. Slowly she approached, her silver hair flowing in the wind like melting snow. Just a young girl, I thought, some poor lost lamb in search of salvation. Our leader must have thought the same, else why would he let her draw so close? They exchanged some words I couldn't hear. She leaned forward as if to kiss his cheek, and then he sighed and crumpled to the ground. I don't know what had happened till I saw the snow turn red. Then there was red everywhere I looked. I tried to fight, but took a blow to the head, and by the time I came to, the others were dead and the heretics were unloading the wagons. I mean, they'd have killed me, so I just lay still and listened. Iceheart's people spoke of deliverance and resurrection, and they spoke of Shiva. To hear them speak, they truly believe they can resurrect Shiva, but that can't be possible, can it? It can't. All right, let's report back to Alphino. Back at Camp Dragonhead. Ah, you've returned, said Alphino. What news have you for us? Horsefant says, it seems the Lady Iceheart does not scruple to sully her hands with blood. Alphino, who is this Shiva the Herrick spoke of? Heretics, that is. Taciturn Temple Knight. Have you not read a single line of the Enchiridion, Master Alphino? Shiva was a traitor to kith and kin, an apostate who lay down with dragons. Horsefant, now we can Horsefant says, now we cannot expect all foreigners to know Ishgardian scripture so well, particularly when it concerns the patron saints of heretics. Alphino, wait, you say she is their patron saint? Oh, no, it all makes sense now. Lord Horsefant, what was the caravan's cargo? If I recall correctly, the Diamond Forge had requested a rather large quantity of crystals. Alphino says, do you not see? Iceheart and her followers intend to summon Shiva as a beast tribe widow primal. Why else would they go to such length to secure crystals? Temple Knight says, I shall inform the Lord Commander at once. Lord Horsefant, you would agree that discretion is of paramount concern? Horsefant says, of course. I trust we can count on your continued support, Master Alphino. Alphino, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn are sworn to combat the primal threat. Our support is given. I will need to send word to my brethren in Revenant's Toll. Our entire order must turn its efforts to the prevention of this summoning. Naturally, that includes you, though I am sure you would not miss this for the world. Okay, Temple Knight left. Horsefant. Heretics, Dravanians, old familiar enemies. This is something beyond all imagination. Alphino. Woe betide the heretic who crosses Alfino Levayer, for they shall feel the full force of his fury. Strength and unity is our next quest here. The persistent attacks on our caravans seem little more than a nuisance at first. The heretics were a problem, to be sure, but a relatively minor one. That was before I discerned the purpose behind their attacks, of course. Now they have my undivided attention. After apprising Minfilia of the situation, I shall summon a unit of Crystal Braves to assist us. As for you, Gav, pray, join me in White Brim Front. Since the incident at Snowcloak, the Knights of House Durandare have redoubled their reconnaissance efforts in the region. It is my hope that they have information which may help us to determine precisely where the heretics are hiding. Given our mutual enemy, Lord Drumont should be eager to oblige us. I shall see you there then? Good. Alfino would be, a lot less cold if he'd actually put more clothes on. Heretics, Dravanians, old familiar enemies. This is something beyond all imagination, he says. Alright, speak with Drumont at White Brim Front. Alfino says, just so you know, my men have already started to arrive. Captain Ilbeard always keeps a few braves at the ready in case of emergencies. Temple Knight. By what means do these heretics travel so quickly? We must know, for our every attempt to apprehend them will be doomed to fail. Aymeric. Commander Levayeur's assessment is most troubling. If he is correct, Iceheart now poses a threat to Ishgard at large. Drumont. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn wish to join in the hunt for Iceheart. Your assistance is more than welcome, my friends. Considering the report I just received, I dare say your timing could be no better. Aymeric says, we are all ears, Lord Drumont. Drumont says, a band of pilgrims was seen transporting a large number of crates to the west. Their garb appears to match the description provided by the squire who survived the attack. Alas, our scouts lost track of them at Snowcloak. That self-same frozen wall, which we speculate might conceal the heretics' hideaway. Suffice it to say, the disappearance of these pilgrims and their provisions all but confirms our suspicions. Aymeric, I have heard enough. My knights will join the hunt. Alfino, I took the liberty of summoning a unit of Crystal Braves to White Brim Front. Given the gravity of the situation, I trust you will agree that we must use every resource available to us. Aymeric, these are extraordinary circumstances, Commander. 'Twould be in our best interest to coordinate our efforts. Alfino, such was my intent from the start, Ser Aymeric. And so it begins, my friend. Though I dare say it will prove an all too brief collaboration. Iceheart will not elude the combined forces of the Crystal Braves and the Temple Knights for long. Nevertheless, a wise man does not wager all upon the success of a single solution. There may yet be subtler means by which we may locate the heretic's lair. Mayhap Lord Drumont has one in mind. Heretic Mage. Yes, yes. Excellent. My lady, everything has been accounted for. If there is aught else you would have us do, pray speak, and it shall be done. Alfino says, 'twould be foolish to dismiss alternative approaches when contending with such clever foes. Aymeric says, I think we can all agree that a formidable foe demands a calculated response. Temple Knight. Some still think these heretics do not pose a great threat. The slain House Forton Knights would surely beg to differ. Check. Ooh. Some fancy glam things. If you like high heels, that could be cool. Probably look great on a gal, but I don't see Gav wearing high heels. Drumont, it seems as though we are always one step behind, our quarry effort just beyond our reach. Though I would like to believe that the tables are about to turn, I must confess to having certain doubts. A joint effort may succeed where others have failed, but it could yet yield the same result. Fortunately, we are not without other options. I trust you haven't forgotten Inquisitor Guillaume? We have not. The mystery of how the heretic remained undiscovered for so long has been much in our thoughts, as has the question of what steps might be taken to prevent a similar breach of security in the future. Accordingly, we conducted an exhaustive and covert evaluation of everyone in White Brim Front. Though some were found to have committed certain minor transgressions, we identified only one possible heretic. If this man has pledged himself to Iceheart's cause, he will have taken note of the movements of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves, and upon recognizing their intent, he may attempt to warn the heretics. The man's watch is to end soon, at which point he must report to Sir Jean Tremont in the guard. I would have you keep an eye on him. If he ventures beyond the walls, follow him discreetly. Should he meet with a heretic, do not interfere. Simply watch and listen. I have seen to it that the suspect knows nothing which could endanger our plans. All right. Mama Cat Gamer has to help make some dinner. So I will leave us in suspense on what this heretic is doing. So, but first, of course, we have to have our cat joke. All right. What did the cat say after a successful catch? I'm not kidding around. Mama Cat Gamer says good night. Have a great one, cats and kittens.